Beamy, 26 years old, working as a junior data analyst at a logistics firm in the city. Name is Declan. The job is exactly what you would expect. Endless spreadsheets, fluorescent lights that hum at a frequency designed to induce migraines, and a break room that always smells like burnt popcorn. It is a soulless environment where people trade their sanity for a paycheck and health insurance. Most of my coworkers are carbon copies of one another. They talk about golf, stock portfolios, and their kitchen renovations. It feels like high school but with more expensive clothing and passive-aggressive emails. I keep my head down, do my work, and try to get out by 5 o'clock sharp. But lately, the workload has been piling up. Quarterly reports are due, and my boss, a micromanager named Mr. Henderson, is breathing down my neck. So I start staying late. 6 o'clock turns into 7, sometimes 8. The office empties out until it is just me and the silence. That is when I first notice her. Her name is Alara, 23 years old, the evening janitor. She is small, with dark hair always pulled back in a tight bun and oversized blue coveralls that swallow her frame. The first few times I see her, she is just a blur in my peripheral vision. The sound of a vacuum cleaner in the hallway, the squeak of rubber shoes on linoleum. I do not pay much attention because, in the corporate hierarchy, she is invisible. That is how the system works. White-collar workers are trained to look right through the people who clean up their mess. But one Tuesday night, my computer crashes. I lose 3 hours of unsaved data. I let out a groan of pure frustration and slam my head onto my desk. Rough night, I jump, startled. I look up and see her standing in the doorway holding a trash bag. She has soft eyes the color of hazelnut and a hesitant smile. I am embarrassed. Yeah, something like that, I say, rubbing my face. Just lost a whole report. She walks over and empties my trash bin with practiced efficiency. My brother says computers can smell fear, she says quietly. Maybe you should walk away for 5 minutes, let it know you are not afraid. I actually laugh. It is the first genuine laugh I have had in that building in 2 years. I am Declan, I say, extending a hand without thinking. She looks at my hand, then at her gloves. She slowly peels off the right glove. I am Alara, she says, shaking my hand. Her grip is firm, but her skin is rough, calloused from work. That was the beginning. For the next month, staying late becomes the highlight of my day, not because of the work, but because of the 20-minute breaks I take to talk to Alara. I learn that she is not just a janitor. She is working 2 jobs to support her grandmother who has early-onset dementia. She is saving up to go to culinary school. She brings in cookies she baked herself, wrapping them in napkins and leaving them on my desk. Experimental batch, she calls them. They are the best things I have ever tasted. Cinnamon and cardamom, flavors that make the gray office feel a little warmer. We talk about everything. Movies, books, the weird habits of my coworkers. I realize I am falling for her. Not just because she is beautiful, which she is in a quiet, unadorned way, but because she is real. In a building full of plastic personalities and corporate jargon, she is flesh and blood and sincerity. But the office is a fishbowl. And sharks are always swimming. Enter Sylvia, be Sylvia, 30-something, senior HR manager and the self-appointed queen of the office. She is the type of woman who weaponizes kindness. Bless your heart is her favorite insult. She wears designer heels that click loudly on the floor so you always know she is coming. She thrives on hierarchy. To her, titles are everything. If you are not management, you are nothing. If you are service staff, you are less than nothing. Sylvia has had her eye on me for a while. Not romantically, I think, but as a pet project. She likes young, promising men she can mold into corporate drones. She invites me to lunch with the executives, tries to set me up with her friends. I always politely decline. One evening, I am packing up to leave. It is around 7. Alara is in my cubicle, leaning against the partition while I finish an email. We are laughing about a meme I showed her. Suddenly, the air temperature drops. Declan, I freeze. Sylvia is standing at the end of the row, her coat draped over her arm. She is looking at Alara with an expression of pure disdain. It is a look I have never seen directed at a human being before. It is the way one looks at a cockroach on a pristine kitchen floor. Working late again? Sylvia asks, her voice sugary sweet but sharp as glass. Just finishing up, I say, standing up. Sylvia, this is Alara. She takes care of the floor. I cringe internally at my own introduction. Alara straightens up, clutching her spray bottle like a shield. Hello, Alara says softly. Sylvia does not answer. She does not even nod. She turns her eyes back to me, effectively erasing Alara from existence. We have a policy about non-employees socializing during work hours, Declan, Sylvia says. Security protocols. She is an employee, Sylvia, I say, feeling a flash of anger. She works here. Contracted staff, Sylvia corrects, her smile not reaching her eyes. It is different, just be careful. We do not want to distract them from their duties. The bathrooms on the fourth floor were not stocked properly yesterday. She glances at Alara one last time. Do better, she says, then she turns and clicks away. Alara looks at the floor, her face burning red. I should get back to work, she whispers. Alara, wait, I say, reaching for her arm. No, she is right, Alara says, pulling away. I do not want to get you in trouble, she rushes off. I stand there fuming. I resolve right then that I do not care what Sylvia thinks. The next day I ask Alara out, properly. I wait for her shift to end at 10 o'clock. I am waiting by the back exit, leaning against my car. When she comes out wearing a thick coat and a beanie, she stops. What are you doing here? She asks. I want to take you to dinner, I say, not as a coworker. Not as a distraction, just Declan taking Alara to get food. She hesitates. Declan, look at you, she says, gesturing to my suit. Look at me, people talk. Let them talk, I say. I am hungry. Are you? She smiles, that shy smile that melts my defenses. I know a place that is open, she says. We go to a 24-hour diner on the edge of town. We eat pancakes and drink terrible coffee until 2 in the morning. I learn about her dreams of opening a bakery. I tell her about my fear that I am wasting my life in a cubicle. By the end of the night, I am holding her hand across the table. It feels right. Effortless. For the next few weeks, we are happy. We keep it low profile at work, but we leave together sometimes. We have lunch in her car because she is not allowed in the main break room during peak hours. I stop eating with the boys from sales. I sit in the passenger seat of her old sedan eating sandwiches she made. It is the best time of my life, but Sylvia is watching. The campaign against Alara starts slowly. Subtle things. One morning, I come in to find an email sent to the entire office from Sylvia. Subject, Office Hygiene and Standards. The email talks about complaints regarding the cleanliness of the workspaces. It mentions sticky residue on desks and trash not being emptied promptly. I know my desk is spotless because Alara cleans it. I walk by the janitor's closet later. Alara is inside looking stressed. Did you see the email? I ask. She nods, wiping her eyes. She wrote me up, Alara says. She called my supervisor at the contracting agency. She said I was negligent. That is a lie, I say, my blood boiling. You are the most thorough worker in this building. It does not matter, Alara says. It is her word against mine. My supervisor told me one more complaint and I am out on probation. I want to storm into Sylvia's office right then. Don't, Alara says, grabbing my hand. Please, I need this job. My grandmother's medication went up again. I cannot afford to lose this. So I hold back, but Sylvia is just getting started. A week later, the missing items rumors begin. Sylvia mentions loudly in the break room that her expensive pen is missing. I left it right on my desk, she says, sipping her latte. And the only people here after hours are the cleaning crew. Everyone nods sympathetically. Seeds of doubt are planted. People start locking their drawers. They start looking at Alara with suspicion when she walks by. I try to defend her. Sylvia, you probably just misplaced it, I say during a meeting. Sylvia turns her cold gaze on me. It is sweet that you want to defend the help, Declan, she says in front of everyone, but naive. You do not know these people. These people, I repeat. You mean hardworking human beings? The room goes silent. Mr. Henderson clears his throat. Let's get back to the agenda, he says. After the meeting, Sylvia pulls me aside. You are treading on thin ice, she hisses. Your reputation is taking a hit. Hanging out with the janitor, really, it is embarrassing. My personal life is none of your business, I say. It is when it affects team morale, she counters. Wake up, Declan, you have a future here. She is temporary. I walk away before I say something that gets me fired. Things escalate to the breaking point a week before the company Christmas party. I had planned to bring Alara as my plus one. I knew it would cause a stir, but I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to show everyone that I was proud of her. Alara was terrified but excited. She bought a dress from a thrift store and altered it herself. It was a deep emerald green vintage silk. She looked stunning when she showed it to me. But 2 days before the party, catastrophe strikes. I am at my desk working on the final year-end forecast. Suddenly, there is a commotion in the hallway. I hear shouting. I run out to see Alara standing near the copy room, surrounded by Sylvia, Mr. Henderson, and a security guard. Alara is crying. Sylvia is holding a small electronic tablet. I found it in her cart, Sylvia is saying, her voice trembling with fake outrage. The company iPad. The one that went missing from the conference room. I didn't take it, Alara is sobbing. I swear I was just cleaning. I don't know how it got there. Save it for the police, Sylvia says. My heart stops. I push through the crowd. What is going on? I demand. Your friend here is a thief, Sylvia sneers, caught red-handed. That is impossible, I say. She would never steal. The evidence is right here, Declan, Mr. Henderson says, looking disappointed. It was in her cleaning cart, hidden under the rags. Someone put it there, I shout. She is being framed. By who? Sylvia asks, raising an eyebrow. Why would anyone frame a janitor? Do not be ridiculous. You have had it out for her for weeks, I accuse. Declan, stand down, Mr. Henderson warns. This is a serious matter. Go back to your desk. No, I say. This is wrong. I said go back to your desk, Henderson bellows. The security guard takes Alara by the arm. Come with us, miss, he says. Alara looks at me, her eyes wide with terror. Declan, she whispers. Watching her get escorted out of the building was the worst moment of my life. She was fired on the spot by her agency, banned from the building. Sylvia stood there with a smug look of satisfaction on her face. She had won. She had ruined Alara just to prove a point, just to put me in my place. I went home that night and found Alara sitting in her small apartment, staring at the wall. She was broken. I am blacklisted, she said quietly. The agency won't place me anywhere else. With a theft accusation on my record, I can't get a job anywhere. We will fix this, I promised, holding her. I swear to you we will fix this. But I didn't know how. Until the next morning, be me looking for vengeance, I go into the office early, like 5 in the morning early. I am running on 2 hours of sleep in pure rage. I sit at my desk and try to think. Sylvia is smart. She would not leave fingerprints. She probably dropped the iPad in the cart when Alara was in the bathroom or emptying a bin. There are no cameras in the hallways, only at the entrances. Wait, the conference room. The iPad was taken from the main conference room. That room has a smart system for video calls. It has a camera that activates when motion is detected, usually for waking up the system. But does it record? I am a data analyst, not IT, but I am friends with Marcus, the guy who runs the server room. Marcus owes me a favor because I covered his ass when he accidentally deleted the backup server last year. I text Marcus. Emergency, need you at the office now, life or death. Marcus shows up at 6, bleary-eyed. Dude, what is it? He asks. I need to see the logs for the conference room camera, I say. For yesterday morning, That doesn't record footage, Declan, Marcus says. It just streams. My heart sinks. Are you sure? I ask. Is there no cache, no temporary storage? Marcus scratches his head. Well, the new software update has a security buffer feature. It keeps the last 24 hours of motion triggers in a temp file, but it gets overwritten every morning at 8. I look at the clock. It is 6:15. Get it? I command. Now. Marcus senses the intensity in my voice and gets to work. We sneak into the server room. He types furiously. Okay, accessing the buffer, he mutters. Yesterday morning. Let's see, he pulls up a grid of thumbnails. What time did the iPad go missing? Sylvia claimed she saw it last at 10 a.m., I say, and found it in Alara's cart at 4 p.m. Okay, let's look at the room between 10 and 12, Marcus says. We watch the grainy footage. 10:05 a.m. meeting ends, everyone leaves. 10:15 a.m. room is empty. The iPad is sitting on the table. 10:30 a.m. door opens. My breath catches. It is Sylvia. She walks into the room alone. She looks around, checking the hallway. She picks up the iPad. She slides it into the inner pocket of her blazer. Then she picks up a stack of papers to look busy and walks out. Got you, I whisper. I got you, Marcus' eyes go wide. Holy SHT, he says. She took it herself. Save that clip, I say. Make 3 copies. Email one to me, put one on a USB, and keep one on your private drive. You are going to burn her down, aren't you? Marcus asks. I am going to nuke her from orbit, I say. The Christmas party is that night. It is a black tie affair at a hotel ballroom downtown. Everyone is going to be there. The CEO, the board of directors, everyone. I text Alara. Put on the green dress. I am picking you up at 7. She replies. Declan, I can't. I'm banned. I reply. Trust me, tonight everything changes. I pick her up. She looks beautiful but terrified. If they see me, they will call the police, she says. Let them try, I say. We arrive at the hotel. I walk her in, my arm linked tightly with hers. We enter the ballroom. The music stops, heads turn. Whispers ripple through the crowd like a wave. Sylvia is standing near the bar, holding a champagne flute, holding court with a group of managers. She sees us. Her face goes pale, then turns a violent shade of red. She marches over, heels clicking. Mr. Henderson follows her, looking furious. What is the meaning of this? Henderson barks. Declan, are you insane? She is not allowed here. Security, Sylvia shrieks. Get security. This woman is a thief. The room goes silent. 2 large security guards start moving towards us. Wait, I shout, my voice echoing off the high ceilings. Before you throw us out, there is something you need to see, I say. We don't need to see anything, Sylvia snaps. Get them out, Mr. CEO, I yell, looking directly at the big boss, Mr. Sterling, who is watching from a table nearby. Mr. Sterling is an old-school guy, fair but stern. He stands up. What is this commotion? He asks. This employee is bringing a fired thief to your party, sir, Sylvia says, trying to regain control. I am handling it. She didn't steal anything, I say loudly. And I can prove it. I pull a USB drive from my pocket. The conference room camera has a buffer, I say. It recorded everything yesterday. Sylvia freezes. Her eyes dart around the room, looking for an escape. That is illegal surveillance, she screams. You cannot use that. It is company property, I say. Mr. Sterling, if you give me 5 minutes with the AV projector, I can show you who the real thief is. Sylvia lunges for me. Actually lunges. She tries to grab the USB drive. I step back and she stumbles, spilling champagne all over her designer dress. It is not graceful. Show it, Mr. Sterling says, his voice cold. He gestures to the AV technician. I hand over the drive. The technician plugs it in. A massive projection screen descends behind the stage. Everyone watches. The video plays, clear as day, Sylvia walking in. Sylvia looking around suspiciously. Sylvia pocketing the iPad. Sylvia walking out with a smirk. The video ends. The silence in the ballroom is heavy, suffocating. Everyone turns to look at Sylvia. She is trembling. It was a test, she stammers. I was testing the security protocols. I was going to return it. I wanted to see if the janitor would steal it if I planted it. So you admit you planted it? Mr. Sterling asks, walking over. Sylvia chokes. You framed a low-wage worker, Mr. Sterling says, his voice low and dangerous. You jeopardized a young woman's livelihood for sport. And you lied to management. Sir, you are fired, Sylvia, Mr. Sterling says. Pack your desk immediately, and if I find out you have done this before, I will personally ensure you never work in this industry again. Sylvia bursts into tears. Ugly, heaving sobs. She looks around for support, but everyone recoils. Even her friends step back. Security escorts her out, the same way she had Alara escorted out the day before. Poetic justice. Mr. Sterling turns to Alara. Miss, I apologize on behalf of the company, he says sincerely. We will reinstate you immediately with a raise and full back pay. Alara looks at him, standing tall in her green dress. She squeezes my hand. Thank you, sir, she says, but I decline. A gasp goes through the crowd. I do not want to work in a place that treats people like furniture until a camera proves otherwise, she says. I deserve better. I understand, Mr. Sterling says, nodding respectfully. We will send you a severance check regardless, a substantial one for the trouble. We walked out of that party hand in hand. We didn't stay for the food or the speeches. We went back to the diner. We sat in our booth, still dressed in black tie and evening gown, eating cheese fries. You were amazing, I say to her. You were not so bad yourself, she smiles. What now, I ask. Well, she says, with that severance check and my savings, I think I can afford the tuition for that culinary program. Do it, I say, and you, she asks. You just publicly humiliated your HR director. It might be awkward. I quit, I say without hesitation. What? She drops a fry. I realize something today, I say. I hate that place. I hate the culture. I hate who I was becoming, watching you. It made me realize I want to do something real. What will you do? I have some savings, I say. Maybe I will help you start that bakery. I am good with spreadsheets, remember. Every bakery needs a business manager. She laughs, crying a little. You are crazy, she says. I am in love, I correct her. That was 3 years ago. Be me now, 30 years old, waking up at 4 a.m. every day. Not to commute to a soul-sucking office, but to fire up the ovens. The smell of cinnamon and yeast fills the air instead of ozone and burnt popcorn. Alara's oven is the most popular bakery in the district. We have a line out the door every Saturday morning. Alara is the head baker, the artist. I run the books, handle the suppliers, and sometimes wash the dishes. We are tired. We work harder than we ever did in the corporate world. Our feet ache, our backs hurt, but we are free. Sylvia heard through the grapevine she had to move out of state, couldn't get hired anywhere in the city after word got out. Apparently, framing the janitor is a resume stain that does not wash out. Sometimes, late at night when we are closing up the shop, I watch Alara wiping down the counters. She moves with that same rhythm she had when she was mopping the office floors. But now she is humming. She catches me staring. What? She asks, wiping flour off her cheek. Nothing, I say, kissing her forehead. Just checking the inventory, she smiles. Everything is accounted for, she says, and she is right. I have everything I ever needed right here. Life is good, moral of the story. Always choose the person who is real and never underestimate the quiet ones. They are usually the ones worth fighting for. The end.